Morning students of class 9. Let's continue our lesson in English. Welcome back to the online classes. So we'll continue our lesson. The little girl, lesson 3. We have reached lesson 3. Now here are our 7 points I have written. Now look at the points. We'll go through one by one. In our previous class we have talked about Kezia never stammered with other people except her father, because she was quite afraid with her father, and she used to get nervous. Whenever she stood in front of her father, she used to get nervous, and she tried so hard to say the word properly, because she wanted to speak, and each word she wanted to say it properly. That's why she used to stammer, she used to get nervous, she used to feel afraid of her father. Not only that, because of her father's giant figure, as we have talked in our previous class. So now, number 3, her father used to speak, her father used to say, whenever she stammered in front of her father, so her father used to say, "What's the matter with you, Kezia? What is wrong with you? What are you looking so wretched?" Wretched means unhappy about. Why are you looking so unhappy about? What makes you stammer? The father inquired her or asked her many questions. Why she looked so unhappy? Why she stammered so much? Why she moved so slowly, just like an abnormal child? Father asked her mother to teach her something, or to be a normal child, to become a normal child. So father always used to shout at her mother, "Why your daughter is looking such a wretched, such an unhappy child? Why don't you teach her during the day when I am away while working while I am in the shop?" Because he was a businessman. So father asked her mother to teach her not to be so unhappy, to act like a normal child. He told Kezia to take back the teacups carefully. In the evening, when father used to come quite late after work, he used to sit down in the drawing room and used to ask for newspaper, ask for tea, and even he called Kezia to take out the books. We have talked in our previous class. And he told Kezia to take the teacups carefully, not to break it. But her hands were shaking while taking the teacups back. She used to get so afraid, so nervous, that her hand and body used to shake, and her hand used to shake while taking the teacups. Her father was so big. Now, as I have told you that her father he had a giant figure. She thought that her father is so big. His hands and his neck is so big, because she was a little girl. She thought her father is very huge, like a giant, especially his hand and necks. And not only that, especially his mouth when he yawned, when he used to take a long breath just before sleeping, or when he is tired, he used to yawn. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. So she thought that her father is just like a giant, such a big man with a big mouth, especially when he yawned. That's called a yawning. So when he yawned, he looked like a giant with a big mouth. Every Sunday, her grandfather used to tell her to go down and have a nice talk with the father and mother in the drawing room. So on Sunday after lunch, her grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with her father and mother. Every Sunday, grandmother used to send her. But whenever she went, she found her mother reading, always busy reading, not paying any attention to her child, Kezia, and her father stretched out on the sofa. Since it was a Sunday, so he had no work, he rested during the day, and her father stretched out on the sofa, lying on the sofa, covering his face with a handkerchief and sleeping soundly, snoring. Snoring means making a sound while breathing. So, and she used to look at her father and look at her mother, and she used to sit down on the stool for hours. She used to sit there as her father was sleeping, as her mother was busy reading. She used to sit there for hours on. So, and she used to come back without having a talk with her father. And by 4 o'clock, her father used to get up and ask, what is the time? Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Kezia, what are you looking at me like that? Why are you staring at me like that? Father again used to shout at her. Actually, she went there to have a nice talk with her father and mother. But since father was sleeping and mother was busy reading, she could not have a talk. She used to return and used to tell grandmother, oh, father was sleeping and mother was reading. I could not have a talk. So she used to speak properly with her grandmother, but only with father she used to stammer all the time because she was nervous. She wanted to speak each word clearly. Not only that, because of her father's giant figure. Thinking about him was just like thinking about a giant. That's why she used to stammer most of the time. So that's all for today. Now you can see that there are 7 points. You can go through that. Go through your book as well. And don't waste your time at home. Keep on reading, studying. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.